another horrific road smash. Fire threatens homes near Hervey Bay. And police make more arrests over the murder of Noel Allen Clark. Good evening, I'm Marita Ramia.
And I'm James O'Shea. Later in sport, the Seagulls to remain in the BRL and some tips from Flemington ahead of tomorrow's Melbourne Cup.
A 31-year-old mother has been killed and her two young children seriously injured in a horror smash just north of Childers this morning. Police are investigating whether speed was a factor. Meanwhile, the 17-month-old survivor of the horror crash near Bundaberg on Friday afternoon has been released from hospital. Police were called to the head-on collision near the Avondale Tavern around 5:30. The baby boy's 40-year-old mother died at the scene, along with the 60-year-old Sunshine Coast man who was driving the other vehicle. The boy was initially taken to Bundaberg Base Hospital for observation. Police are still investigating the cause of the crash and believe one of the drivers may have been blinded by the sun. Firefighters battled a large bushfire in Wundunna today, which came within metres of homes. 10 rural and urban crews responded to the blaze at the end of Gilston Road just before 12 o'clock. It's believed at one stage 7 homes were in the line of fire.
The wind's working against us at the moment. It's pushing straight down the corridor where the bushland is, so it's pushing it down pretty quickly.
Crews were busy backburning and establishing containment lines as the bushfire moved in an easterly direction. Residents were advised to keep their doors and windows closed to avoid smoke entering their homes. Police have made further arrests over the murder of Maryborough man Noel Allen Clark. A man and a woman, both aged 30, joined Graham Kenneth Wright as suspects in the case. Stay with us ahead on WIN News. 3D movies hit local cinemas and the Bundy racetrack prepares for the magic of Melbourne Cup Day. Well, a new digital technology is set to revolutionise the movie-going experience in Hervey Bay. Viewers will now feel like they're part of the action with one room in the local cinema showing movies in 3D.
It's very real, in your face. I think they'll be very impressed and very excited about it.
Big screen cinemas will premiere the new experience on Wednesday with Disney's A Christmas Carol. From next week, some of the biggest blockbusters can be seen in the new format, with 7 3D movies to be shown each day. Taking a look at the cost of fuel around the Wide Bay, and the average price of unleaded has risen. It's sitting at $1.22.6 for the start of the working week. The United at Tanana was the best place to fill up with E10, unleaded and gas, while the Matilda at Maryborough South was selling the cheapest diesel. The RSPCA is putting all dog owners on notice. As summer fast approaches, concerns have been raised over the rising number of dogs left in cars. The RSPCA warns it can take only 6 minutes to lose your prized pooch in the heat.
And if we do see an animal that is in distress, locked in a car, in a car park or something like that, we do have the authority in certain circumstances to remove that dog.
Tough penalties, including fines and possible prosecution, may apply to those caught. They also say leaving car windows down and parking in the shade is not good enough.
Do not leave an animal in a car. You wouldn't do it to a child, don't do it to an animal.
To report a dog left in the car, you can contact the RSPCA on this number. Well, punters and posers are preparing for the fun of the Melbourne Cup Day at the Bundaberg racetrack. In the feature open, handicapped local gelding Suntan is expected to win his 2nd consecutive crown. And if you're a little unsure how to place a bet on tomorrow's Melbourne Cup, here's a few helpful hints.
Well, it's that time of year again, Melbourne Cup Day tomorrow, and whether you are a regular punter, perhaps you like to place a wager once a year, tomorrow is the day to test your knowledge. Well, how do we place a bet on the big race? Tonight we're going to find a few simple ways to win your fortune on the Melbourne Cup. Well, Russell, the win place bet's the easiest way to place a wager. How do we go about that?
Yes, the win place bet, this yellow designated ticket, it's the easiest way to go. Just filled out here, we have...
The state will be open at 8 a.m. tomorrow, but check your local agent. Some may be open even a little earlier. Good luck if you're having a bet on the Cup tomorrow.
And for the man that knows, it will be a big day of racing tomorrow, James.
Absolutely, Marita. We'll hopefully find a tip or few for you. We'll go to Flemington after the break. And also up next, the Mariners continue their dominance in Spring Rugby Union. Thanks Thanks for joining us. You're watching WIN News Sport Time now, and Rugby League first up, and the Hervey Bay Seagulls will remain in the BRL next year after deciding against a switch to the Fraser Coast Rugby League. Late last week, Maryborough side the Wallaroos announced they'd rejoin the Southern Comp after officials introduced a new under-18s division. But at the weekend, the Seagulls decided not to follow suit, saying their players would prefer to remain in the Bundaberg League. Well, the Wide Bay has narrowly missed out on the O'Day Shield in the Under-19 South Queensland Cricket Championships. Despite winning both of its weekend matches, they finished runner-up to South East Queensland. Well, Bundaberg Cricket now and Brothers are in control after day one of their two-day clash with Country Wests. Opener Scott Irwin played a lone hand in the Wests' first innings, falling just 2 runs short of 100 as his side was bowled out for 182. In reply, Brothers are 7 down for 214, with Adam Rayner scoring a century off just 57 balls. To Rugby Union, and the Fraser Coast has continued its strong start to the Bundaberg Spring competition, winning its third game in a row on Friday night. In a highly attacking contest, the Mariners looked a cut above ISIS as they stormed home for a 34-point victory.
Playing quite well in patches, dropping off in patches as well, but we're working on that and bringing the young guys through, which is quite important for the development of the club.
The other match of the round saw West's Barbarians defeat Alloway Falcons 19 points to 7.
We had a few close games during the last season, beaten the final by 1 I think in the last minute, so we knew it was going to be a tough game, and we knew they were up for revenge and that sort of thing, so yeah, it's good.
The Barbarians will take on ISIS next weekend, while the Mariners will have the bye. And now for his thoughts on the race that stops the nation, it's over to Pat O'Shea, who will be trackside at Flemington tomorrow. That's a look at the sport. Tip, Marita?
Well, I'm going with Pat on the roughie, because I went like a roughie.
Daffodil. Okay, well, let's see
Pretty.
how
we go. Stay with us. Peter Byrne joins us next with all the weather details.
Good evening, weather watchers. Well, just prior to local weather conditions, our Tourism Queensland photograph takes us to Spring Bluff Railway Station near Toowoomba. Isn't that a magnificent picture? Now, the heritage listed site and gardens have won several awards at the Carnival of Flowers. That's the annual carnival held in Toowoomba. That's the competition. And they're open all year round to visitors. That's magnificent. It's a Spring Bluff Railway Station just outside Toowoomba. No rain to report. Not much change in the immediate future. So let's have a look at temperatures through the region today. Monto 12 to 31, Bundaberg 15 to 28, Sandy Cape 19 to 26. There's Maryborough, look at that, cool and comfortable, holy moly, 12 degrees. Gayndah, the oldest town in Queensland, 13 to 30. You know, did you know Gayndah was once considered to be the capital of Queensland? Oh gee, how Queensland would have changed if that case had come off. Gympie 10 to 29. Let's have a look at current conditions in Hervey Bay. 23, probably around about 27 out there in Gayndah at the moment, which was once the aspiring capital of Queensland. Let's have a look at the satellite picture of Queensland. Little of interest. How's this for a symmetrical vortex associated with a nice little low over the Great Australian Bight? Taking a closer look at Queensland, that confirms the relatively sky-clear conditions. It doesn't show about 1/8 of fair weather cumulus. A little bit of showery cloud activity between Ingham and Port Douglas up there in the north. Onto the chart we go. At long last, the high is weakening. It's now relaxing the ridge along the Queensland coast, so those winds will back southeast to east to northeast to north over the next couple of days. Increasing temperatures. Here comes the surface trough. If all goes well, that will generate showers and storms over the southwest Wednesday, generally through the area Thursday, Friday. Consequently, in the short term, the local forecast's fine. That's for Tuesday. For Wednesday, the possibility of afternoon or evening showers and storms over inland parts of the district, and a warm to hot day. The maritime observations at 3 o'clock included Lady Elliot Island, east-southeast at 11 knots. Coastal waters for the bay tomorrow, not bad conditions. Basically northeast to north winds of 10 to 15 knots. And for Wednesday we expect northwest to northeast 10 to 15, 15 to 20 during the afternoon. For offshore waters there, Sandy Cape to Double Island Point tomorrow, north to northeast 10 to 15, northwest to northeast 15 to 20 for Wednesday. Tidal information for the Bay and Burnett Heads. Sun up over the Bay tomorrow just before 5 in the morning. And there's your summary points. The chance of rain generally by about Thursday. Enjoy your evening. Now it's back to Marita.
Thank you, Burnsy, and that wraps up all the news for the start of the working week. We'll see you again tomorrow with all the highlights from the Melbourne Cup. Good luck.
Good luck. Good night.